All right, so today we're going to dive into this really fascinating spiritual vision from the 20th century. It's all about this idea of a cosmic family, one that stretches across the stars. And of course, we have to talk about the man who claimed to be its most famous messenger.
It's probably one of the biggest questions we could ever ask ourselves, right? In a universe with hundreds of billions of galaxies, are we really truly alone? I mean, you look up at that night sky and you just can't help but wonder. Well, there was this one philosophy from the last century that offered up a pretty spectacular answer. And the answer, according to this worldview, is a huge, resounding no. We are definitely not alone. Actually, it says we're part of something unimaginably vast, a single, interconnected, cosmic family. This one idea, this is the core of what's known as the Universal Brotherhood.
So, what is this philosophy really? Let's break down this big idea and see what it's all about.
Okay, so at its heart, the Universal Brotherhood is saying we're not just these isolated beings on some lonely little planet. Nope. It suggests that all intelligent life, no matter where it is in the universe, is part of one giant evolving family. And the goal isn't just to survive, but to take part in this shared journey toward a higher consciousness. Now, an idea this big doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. It was really fed by three major currents. First, you had these esoteric traditions talking about hidden, enlightened masters guiding humanity. Then, you had mystical thought from both Christianity and the East, which always talked about how everything is connected to a divine source. And then, and this is the cool part, modern astronomy comes along and shows us a universe so huge and interconnected that the idea of a cosmic family suddenly seemed, well, not just possible, but maybe even logical. An idea this big needed a messenger, right? And it found one in a pretty unlikely guy named George Adamski, who would take this philosophy from these small, niche circles and blast it onto the global stage. And here's something that's really crucial to understand. Adamski wasn't some newcomer to these ideas. Long before he was famous for his UFO claims, he was already a spiritual teacher. And guess what he was teaching? The very same principles, universal law, peace, the idea that all life is connected. So his later story was really more of an evolution of what he already believed. This timeline really shows you how fast things changed for him. In the 30s, he's a spiritual teacher. But then boom, 1952 hits and everything gets turned upside down. He claims he's made contact. And in just a couple of years, his books are international bestsellers, spreading this message of the Universal Brotherhood to millions of people. So what was the big message? Well, according to Adamski, these beings, he called them the Space Brothers, they delivered a pretty stark warning. They basically told humanity, hey, you guys are on a path of self-destruction with all your wars and your division. It was time for us to wake up and rejoin the peaceful, harmonious cosmic family where we rightfully belong. Okay, so let's shift gears a little. Let's move away from the messenger for a second and get back to the message itself. What were the core teachings, the real wisdom from the stars? It pretty much boils down to these 5 principles. First, just get it. Realize that everything is connected. Second, live your life in a way that's in tune with universal moral laws like harmony and compassion. Third, understand that real progress isn't about cooler gadgets, it's about growing your consciousness. Fourth, and this is a big one, replace weapons with wisdom. And finally, see that your true purpose isn't just about you, it's about serving and uplifting everybody, the whole collective. So why did this message hit so hard with so many people? I mean, what was it about this idea? To really get it, we have to look at the world it was born into. And this slide just illustrates the contrast perfectly. Think about the world of the 1950s. It was completely defined by the Cold War, division, nationalism, and this absolutely terrifying threat of nuclear war. In the shadow of all that conflict, people were just hungry for ideas that could go beyond earthly politics. And the Universal Brotherhood offered exactly that. It was this incredible vision of unity, cooperation, and hope, a perfect counter-narrative to the fear of the age. And the ripples from this philosophy, oh man, they spread far and wide. It was a huge catalyst for the whole contact he thing and later the New Age movements. It also pretty much gave us that classic sci-fi archetype, the wise, human-looking Nordic alien. And honestly, in a lot of ways, its call for global unity was way ahead of its time, foreshadowing modern concepts like planetary consciousness. So all of this brings us to the final, and maybe the most important question. What does any of this mean for us, right here, right now, today.
Look, whether you see Adamski's story as literal fact or as a powerful allegory, the philosophy itself acts like a mirror for us. In a world that is still struggling with so much division and tribalism, it offers this radical alternative. It's the idea that our ultimate destiny isn't separate, it's shared, that we're all part of a single human, and maybe even cosmic, story.
And this quote, this just gets right to the heart of it all. It suggests a total reevaluation of what we think advanced means. True progress isn't about power or conquest or technology. It's about our capacity for kindness and understanding. That's a simple but wow, what a profound benchmark for any society, on this world or any other.
And so that's what we're left with, this final, really challenging thought. The message of the Universal Brotherhood, when you boil it all down, it just turns the question right back on us. Maybe the point was never about waiting for some saviors to come down from the sky. Maybe it was always about us, about becoming the kind of wise, unified, and compassionate beings who would be worthy of joining that cosmic family ourselves. What do you think?